So this is it, the gold medal match of the Hero Champions Trophy. The crowd are ready for the big one. Disappointed after GB lost to Germany in the bronze match. It's Australia-India next. Guess who he's supporting? It's, of course, India. Let's join our commentary team, Ashley Morrison and Cedric D'Souza.
Thanks very much, Chris. Well, good morning from all those viewers in Australia, and namaskar those in India. Australia versus India, the final of the 36th Hero Hockey Champions Trophy 2016. As the umpires lead the ball deliverers out, we have Koen van Bunge from the Netherlands and David Tomlinson from New Zealand. Tim Deven wearing the captain's armband for Australia, Manpreet for India. These two teams know each other inside out in recent times. They've played most of them together in the Hockey India League. But it will be a truly intriguing battle tonight. Australia looking for their 14th Champions Trophy title. India looking for their first. And not surprisingly, India has a lot of support inside the stadium here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. We'll pause though first for the national anthems. And it's Australia's first. Now the national anthem of India, Jana Gana Mana. Plenty of passion in both national anthems. High fives from the bench. Indian players coming through. Manpreet captain today. And that is an important move, I think, by Roland Altmans. He's shown great leadership in the past, and they need him to up his game today and lead from the front in the midfield if India are going to be victorious. Take a look at the Australian lineup. Andrew Charter gets the nod in goal. And the key players for them, Zaluski's been scoring goals, so too Tristan White, 3 goals in 3 games. Trent Mitten scored in the last game. Blake Govers dangerous from penalty corners. And Josh Belts has been rock solid at the back. They're going to be a hard team to break down for India. Srijesh is in goal for India, the wall of India. Manpreet has been playing in a more defensive role, but he needs to get forward a little bit tonight. Raghunath and Harmanpreet are the dangers from penalty corners, and we need to see the talent of Devinder Valmiki and SK Uttapa really come to the fore and feed SV Sunil, Akashdeep Singh and Talvinder in the forward line. Both teams have really strong substitutes. We have Mandeep, who's currently on 3 goals in the tournament for India. Chinglan Sana in midfield will be a key player, as well as Nitin Tamaya up front. Whereas for Australia, Flynn Ogilvie wearing 22 and Glenn Turner also in the goals, with Simon Orchard in the midfield starting on the bench. Srijesh will go and tap the posts of his goal frame as he does before every match. Crowd is beginning to fill up. They're coming out of the bars and the food stalls around here. This is the big game, the first time that a Champions Trophy final for men has ever been played in London. It is the 655th Champions Trophy match. Who will be victorious? Who will lift that magnificent trophy in an hour's time? Australia push back in their familiar green and gold. India in the blue shirts that are so famous in the world of hockey. Immediately, Australia go on the attack. I'm Ashley Morrison, and alongside me, former Indian coach and the now national coach of Austria, Cedric D'Souza. Cedric, this is what it's all about.
Well, you know, it's a final. Both teams will really play relentless attacking hockey. I think that's one of the cards today.
Will be, definitely. And of course, Australia looking for the 14th title, India for the first. It's the first time they've been in a final for 36 years at a major tournament.
Well, India will probably try and put their name on that trophy for the first time.
Good skills by Akashdeep, stolen away from him by Matt Dawson. Mitten goes back to Devan. Infield to Zalewski, who's had a huge tournament, in my opinion. Beale looking to feed the ball forward, but it was intercepted by Harmanpreet.
Well, there's good movement by the strikers and the midfielders going to the ball side and putting a lot of pressure on the ball.
And that's a miscontrol. Raghunath, well, he shouldn't have been pushing the ball away there. Dangerous. Could have got a card. Luckily for him, the ball goes over the baseline. Interestingly, Cedric, India in the final. There's only 2 teams have ever made the final after losing 2 games in the pool in the Champions Trophy when it's been played in this format. And that was Germany in 2009, and they lost to Australia in the final. And in '93, Australia lost 2 and won the title in Kuala Lumpur.
You look at the other way, you know, Australia has just won 4 matches in the pool matches and 1 draw, while India's won just 2 matches. So, you know, this competition has been so tight.
It has been very, very tight. Germany at one point sitting bottom of the table, ending up with bronze tonight with a 1-0 victory over the hosts, Great Britain. Manpreet is such an important player, in my opinion, tonight. Super overhead pass, picks out Swan in space. Good run from Govers. Good touch, though, from Harmanpreet, and he brings the ball under control. SK Uttapa, though, just got his angles wrong, and SV Sunil couldn't keep it in play.
Well, Harmanpreet did a fantastic job by cutting inwards, but keeping his stick, extended stick on the right-hand side, and Swan tried to play the ball down and pick it up beautifully.
Belts at the back. Player who has really shone in this tournament. A lot of people outside Australia had not seen him play, and now they're aware of who Josh Belts is. Again, ball played away by the Indian player. SK Uttapa just knocking it away. They need to be careful of that, Cedric, because they do not want to be a man down.
I think what happened was he blew for Akashdeep's foul, and it was a bit late, so at that time Uttapa didn't hear the whistle and just played on.
I think you're being generous there, Cedric. I think he heard the whistle loud and clear.
Good tackle play on.
It's probably the same way he doesn't hear instructions when you're coaching.
Well, he's not my team.
That's true. Australia on the attack through Zalewski, but he was surrounded by blue shirts. Now it's SV Sunil. What a tournament he's had. Blistering pace. Gets a little bit of a push from Swan. Should get the free hit. He does indeed. Swan, I think, just put his hand out and touched the shoulder of SV Sunil. There you go.
Well, a little bit of body contact, you know, when they're both running for the ball.
SV Sunil still with strapping on his hamstrings. Harmanpreet, what a revelation he has been. Such a talented young player. His father being a farmer on the outskirts of Amritsar.
For me, he's actually the pick of the tournament in terms of a youngster. You know, he, Joshua Bells, Matthew Dawson, really class players who got so much of hockey ahead of them, and is going to make hockey in the future really something to look forward to.
Well, it was good play through the midfield from Australia, but Turner was just caught on his heels as Beale played it down the side. That ricocheted off the feet of Mitten. Australia conceding just 7 goals in the tournament. They have also scored 14 goals and had 7 goal scorers. India have scored 10 goals and have had 6 scorers. Zalewski closed down very quickly by Nitin Tamar. That was good pressure by him. Now it comes to Manpreet. He's miscontrolled that. Now it's White who's relishing the role in the midfield. White manages to get the ball to Ogilvie. Ogilvie is robbed by Pardeep Moore, but it went off the leg first.
Come on, guys.
Philpott fires one, and Mitten at full stretch couldn't bring it under.
They're looking for a direct ball into the circle. Mitten posting up, the ball just went over his stick.
Well, that was a brilliant take by Pardeep Moore, leaping as he brought it down. Now it comes to Chinglan Sana, deflected at the top of the D by Nitin Tamar. It's going to be a live push towards the goal, swept away in the end by Philpott. Still alive for India. Strong challenge from Chinglan Sana, but Zalewski comes up with the ball. Now it's Orchard. Orchard feeds Turner. Turner's waiting for Orchard to come forward in support. Govers screaming for the ball on the right-hand side. Turner, though, gets the foul committed by India. Now it comes to Govers. It just caught his foot.
Well, what Australia is actually doing is, I'll come back to that, it's a great pickup by Pardeep Moore, a lovely errant ball, deep from the pocket, picks up beautifully with soft hands. But what Australia is doing is, you know, they're posting, one of the strikers are posting up to receive the ball, and 2 are going deeper into the circle, so they're stretching the defense.
Graham Reid said pre-match when he spoke to Michael Absalom that can't give India any oxygen. SK Uttapa just stopped by Govers, and Govers snapping around again, but Uttapa gets the decision.
Uttapa is really a very classy player. He's got a lot of strength on the ball. He has actually good vision.
SV Sunil drives it into the D, but gets his angles wrong. When you talk about SK Uttapa, I mean, he's got the highest number of goals in 5 games, when in a state competition at the age of 11, he scored 16 in 5 games playing for Karnataka. And that's a phenomenal return, Cedric.
Well, he's really a good player, you know, and you know, as he's grown up and got into the Indian team, he's blossomed even better.
I did read that his mother's very pleased he's back in the team. Of course, he did go to London. He's had a few injury problems over the years, and all her friends and family were saying, what's happened, why is he not playing? And now she doesn't have to keep explaining all the time because he's got the blue shirt back on his back. Chinglan Sana with a great intercept, stopping the ball, getting to Ogilvie. And straight into Orchard. Orchard feeling 3 hits should have gone his way.
Well, Orchard had that ball, and he led towards the left-hand side, waiting for the striker to pull into a position to receive it, but Chinglan Sana did very well to cover the lines.
Kotaji fires a ball, looking for the run of Mandeep. Mandeep gets it eventually from a good touch from SK Uttapa. Comes across SK Uttapa, he swept it wide on the reverse. Maybe a little bit more composure, and India would have been 1-0 to the good.
Well, a great run by Mandeep. He cuts into the circle, looks up, looking for his player to play the back ball, and plays it inside, but Chawla does very well to get down, deflect that ball. Ball bobs up to Uttapa and hits it wide. It's a hurried shot, if you ask me.
Is that a little bit of nerves then, Cedric?
Well, I don't think he expected the ball to come to him, and you know, if he had just moved his feet a little bit and got on the forehand, it would have been a different story.
Again, just not able to keep the ball in play. A groan from the Indian fans here at the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. Been a great event. I have to take my hat off to England Hockey for organising it. Of course, it will be the women's event next week, starting tomorrow. Make sure you get your tickets at England Hockey website. Orchard moves past two, feeds Dawson. Dawson first time to Govers. Govers pulls away from SK Uttapa, feeds Beale. Beale has the keeper come out. Srijesh, penalty corner. First penalty corner of the match to Australia.
Well, if you look at the Indian defence, they were actually holding back, waiting for the striker to make a commitment. Srijesh has very well to come and cover that post, and ball both off his pads and a penalty corner for Australia. But someone had to step out to meet the man coming into the circle. They all just pulled back into the circle.
This is a key moment for India. They do not want to let Australia score. Srijesh, the wall of India, does some deep knee bends. Australia 5 from 30 from penalty corners in the tournament. Govers waits, so too does Dawson. Govers at the first battery, Dawson at the second. They then shift, swap places. Comes to Govers, Govers sweeps. Good running from Raghunath. Ricocheted up in the air, it'll be another penalty corner.
Well, the penalty corner, the ball comes up to the second castle. Govers goes low, hits Raghunath on the foot, rises up in the circle, and a dangerous play and a re-penalty corner.
We'll go through it all again. Govers this time starts at the first battery with Orchard stopping. Dawson at the second with Ockenden. Beale to inject. They go to Govers again. Govers sweeps. Srijesh saves. Beale pounces. But it was into the goalkeeper again. Frustration. Daniel Beale feeling he should have scored, but it's another penalty corner. Good pressure from Australia, but Srijesh doing the job.
Well, the flick wasn't really hard enough, you know. The ball comes up, Srijesh gets well to go down, but he smothers the ball actually by throwing his body along the line. The ball bobs up and goes on Chinglisana, or Korajit, sorry, and a penalty corner.
You were demonstrating that before with a ricochet. You've got to throw your body there. So it's Govers and Dawson again. Will they go to Dawson or will they stick with Govers? It's Govers again. Srijesh saves again, and it's hit the foot of SK Uttapa this time. Srijesh, though, is keeping Australia at bay.
Well, Srijesh has to use his go down left on the left-hand side, gets low, the ball deflects off his foot onto Uttapa, the postie, and a re-penalty corner.
Srijesh's left leg was at full extension there.
Well, he's actually been tested on all the sides at first, on the right as well as the left.
William Reid just checking his notes. Govers and Dawson once more. This time they go Dawson. Dawson sweeps. It's brilliantly stopped by Surrender Kumar. Trying to play that in was Ockenden, but the decision goes India's way, and the crowd find their voice.
Well, a great run on the second runner. Surrender runs bang on in line with the stick between his legs, covering up the left-hand side, and a great save.
Into almost the final 4 minutes of the first quarter. It's been thrilling. This 36th Hero Hockey Champions Trophy final. Akashdeep cuts infield, looks to feed the ball to Danish. Danish feeds it out wide. Harmanpreet feeds it now to Akashdeep. Great tackle by Tim Devan, but he's giving it back to Danish Mustafa. But it's Australia free hit. It's going to have to go back to where the offence occurred.
Well, you know, Akashdeep has that ball. He starts moving up. He finds he's under pressure. He uses the guard, Danish, and switches the game. Good thinking by the Indian youngsters.
Harmanpreet loves to go forward. He did play as a forward in his youth before he moved into defence. It's Danish Mustafa looking for the run of Pardeep Moore. Blake Govers comes back. Just puts him off his stride for a second, but it'll be a free hit to India. Now the big man, Raghunath, comes forward. Such an air of authority. Raghunath sweeps it in. It comes off an Australian stick. Long corner.
That's why long corner. Nothing more, nothing less.
Looks as if Ronan Altmans has lost a lens on his glasses. Or is it just a one-eyed view of the pitch?
Onto the body. You played it into the body.
Swept forward, pushed over the side by Devan. Immediately played on by Talvinder. Good pass and interchange with Nikintamaya. Brilliant save by Charter. Talvinder was trying to pick out Mandeep, but Charter smothered the danger.
A good passage of play by India going down toward the baseline. They can get a beautiful layoff pass. That when he gets that ball, goes to the baseline, tries to play the ball back from Mandeep, but Charter does beautifully and smothers the ball.
Pardeep Moore now fires it across, looking for the deflection was Nikintamaya, and he's got himself and his team a penalty corner. India's first of the match. We're in the final 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. What a time to score this would be for India.
Well, a great cross ball coming in. The ball deflects off the Swan and goes up into his body, and a penalty corner. Great hitting on the reverse of the defender.
India do have a very, very dangerous two drag flickers in Raghunath and also Harmanpreet. 3 from 15, 20% conversion rate. The highest in the tournament. They've won the least penalty corners of any team here. Harmanpreet goes first. It's to Raghunath at the second battery. Low down, appeals for a penalty stroke. It's a penalty corner being given. Not sure whether India will refer it. I think they've decided against that. Tristan White, the man who did the heroics.
Well, the ball goes to the second castle. It hits him on the stick first and then goes on to his legs.
Because we got a video. Okay.
He was lucky, but also Charter was behind Tristan White. So it's Raghunath again waiting. Harmanpreet first battery, Raghunath at the second. Danish stops, Raghunath sweeps, good save by Charter to his right-hand side. Harmanpreet scurries to keep the ball in play. In fact, Australia have kept it in play. Harmanpreet plays it off the feet. It's gone along the baseline. It will be a long corner.
But Charter does very well, just sidesteps, drives his body forward and palms it across the goal mouth.
Raghunath sweeps it out onto the left-hand side. India with a concerted spell of pressure at the end of this first 15 minutes. Surrender Kumar down to Pardeep Moore. Pardeep Moore has Govers snapping at his heels. That looked as if it went out of play, but it came off Govers, so it's a long corner to India. Pardeep Moore letting the ball run out of play. Harmanpreet is to Raghunath. Raghunath helps it forward. Now Manpreet makes Swan go one way. Swan turns brilliantly though. Manpreet drills the ball forward. It goes off Devan's stick, out of play. India from the side.
That's Australia's copybook double teaming. One taking the pressure and one taking the space. Great teamwork in double teaming and stealing the ball from Manpreet.
Manpreet already having an influence on this match. Hayward trying to play it forward for Australia. Goes off an Indian stick. Now it's Orchard from the side. Goes the reverse diagonal pass, and that was outstanding to find Tristan White. Oh, a bit of a wry smile. He's annoyed he didn't keep that under control, but it would have been brilliant had he done so.
What a fantastic cross ball right from the right-hand side, penetrating the entire defense. Defense actually ball watching. Tristan mistraps that ball.
Harmanpreet being pushed backwards. Then he throws an aerial pass and Swan comes across. Nikintamaya wanting to play on with that, but I think it was taken from the wrong place, and the hooter goes, and that will be the end of the first quarter. No goals, but plenty of entertainment for the fans here. Australia 0, India 0. Well, Cedric, it's been a really fascinating first 15 minutes. Blake Govers thwarted by Srijesh, and Beale with the follow-up couldn't get it over the body of Srijesh. Real desperation from the Indian keeper.
Well, I think, you know, Beale should have been a little stronger on that ball. You know, the ball was still available for him to tip it over Srijesh.
The penalty corner, and Srijesh again, this time making a save, but kicking it into SK Uthappa as he did so. The key thing is Shrijesh has kept the ball out. Roland Altman's very calm. Graham Reid too.
All around, get our strikers high, then we've got someone to pass to up there. So let's just stay patient, okay? Really good press. Second line of the press is you guys in the midfield are marking really well. I just think that we need to use our midfield and transfer the ball to the other side. Yep. Calm, clear, alert, looking, measured. Okay, that's the real message. Here you go.
And it was very clear, the instructions there. Calm was the words from Graham Reid. Holman's still very calm. I think he's happier with the first quarter than he would have been yesterday, Cedric.
Definitely, you know, and he's had a couple of chances, penetrated the Australian defense. You know, they've got to use that aerial ball as much as possible, and they'll find the gaps, especially when Australia pushes up and tries to get a goal.
Well, there are the Argentina ladies team watching on, and Michael Absalom, I believe, has Graham Reid down pitch side.
I certainly do. We mentioned there that he was mentioning the word calm in his team talk. What else were you asking for of your players?
Oh yeah, look, just to have a bit of patience and hold the ball. You know, we didn't hold the ball very well in that quarter, and so that's hopefully what our boys are going to be doing this next quarter.
4 corners going your way, 2 India's way. Is it playing slow tonight, extra slow?
Do you mean
the pitch itself?
The pitch? No, I think the boys haven't noticed anything, so no, it's all good. Don't have that excuse, unfortunately.
All right, keep going.
Thank you, Michael. Valmiki is guiding his pass to Akashdeep. Justin White just getting the ball from the side. And India, I would have thought, Cedric, will gain great confidence. The longer this goes on and they keep Australia scoreless, they will feel they can nick this.
Well, you know, Australia has not scored many goals in the first quarter of all the games they played here. And, you know, if it goes by what has happened in the last games, it's exactly what's happening. But you never know with Australia. And India has to keep the momentum right through.
Chance for Okkanen, strong defence coming from Devinder Valmiki. You're absolutely right. Australia's not scored in a single game in the first quarter, Cedric, but they have scored 5 times in the second quarter and 5 times in the third. So it's danger in this period for India. SV Sunil breaks forward, goes past Hayward, can't get past the captain of the night, Devan.
Well, Devan's having a really good game. He's covering a lot of ground. He's a free man. And every time the ball is loose, he covers the spaces and he puts the stick down strong and hard.
Tim Devan is a really courageous player. And when you consider as a child he had a depressed fracture of his skull when he was hit with a hockey ball. It's amazing that he's playing at this level and with such courage. Playing for Tamar Chiringa in Tasmania. Zalewski. Mitten pulled wide. Manpreet ahead of him. Mitten looks to go past him. Mitten still good stick control inside the circle. Now Govers joins in. Govers spins, lifts it into Raghunath, and it's a penalty corner to Australia.
Well, you know, when you're down on the baseline, you've got to protect the ball as much, protect your feet as much as possible. Sustained pressure by India, but great skills by Govers along the baseline. Finds the flat stick, lifts it on the flat stick onto the body, and a penalty corner for them. Actually manufacturing a penalty corner from nothing. You cannot get a goal from that corner.
Well, Govers would really want a goal now. Zalewski makes his way down to the baseline. Hayward waits at the top of the circle. So too Govers. Govers now takes 3 steps back alongside Hayward. Stopped by Okkanen. Govers sweeps, looking for the deflection. Came from Swan. Penalty stroke. And it came off Surendra Kumar. I think he was behind Shrijesh. Are they going to refer it?
Well, it's a great ball by Govers. Just playing the ball wide for a deflection, the wide slider deflection. Turner gets down low. Ball going in the goal. Hits Surendra on the foot. And a penalty stroke.
I think Turner was disappointed he didn't get the goal, although I think it was Zalewski who just poked it over the line, so it would have been Zalewski's third goal. Govers has made his way forward. He has to beat the imposing figure of PR Srijesh.
Go, you ready?
Govers against Srijesh. He's missed it completely. Govers has missed the goal completely, and the Indian fans have gone crazy in the crowd.
Well, the ball is played. He just missed it completely. He pushed the ball wide off the post. Srijesh had gone to the left-hand side, but extended his right-hand side with a stick.
Have to hit the target with those, Cedric. Although it's easier said up here than it is down there on the pitch. That goal looks very, very small when you stand there. So Australia have squandered the chance to take the lead. Govers now looking to make amends, drills it across. Mitten was very nearly on the end of that.
Well, I think if the ball had gone into goal, Srijesh had actually had no chance because he was about a foot away with his extended stick on the post, to the post.
I just love the way Srijesh enjoys every minute of every game except when he gets beaten.
Well, I think he's a player who really lifts the team in terms of his performance as well as his motivation.
Well, who can forget his performance in the Hockey World League final where he was the hero of the shootout when India got their first medal for 33 years in a major tournament. Today, they're going to get their first ever silver medal in a Champions Trophy. Can they get gold? It's their first final for 36 years. The last time, 1980 Olympic Games, when the likes of Dung Dung were playing, Mervyn Fernandez, MK Kaushik, Bhaskaran, who actually was the coach who gave Raghunath his debut.
But coming back to Srijesh, also he was the goalkeeper who actually saved India in the Asian Games, which they won, and then got the direct ticket to Rio.
Kotajit got the goal in that match as well. Kotajit doesn't get many goals.
Well, you could just hear the Indian players shouting to lift that ball, use the aerial route when there's a lot of pressure on them, especially when the ball is in the pockets. From the ball side to the head side, because there'll be a lot of space.
Midfield combining well tonight for India. Raghunath will go the aerial route. Didn't really get under that, and it's gone over the side. We're going now pitch side to Michael Absalom, who has Chris Sorrello, who's not playing in this match.
Yeah, he's injured this evening and he's just been thrown out of the media box as well. He was down here festering with the journalists, but I've managed to pull him aside for a quick word. Just your assessment on the game so far, Chris?
Yeah, it's been end-to-end like I thought it would be. We knew it was going to be a battle straight up, and India have definitely come to play.
They have. You've had plenty of penalty corner opportunities, 5 in the game so far. It's an area you'd normally specialise in beyond the field for. Yep. Why is it not going in?
Well, it's just a matter of process, I think. You know, getting it out good and the trap and executing the flick. Like anything, you know, they're running their best, and Raghu's one of the best runners in the world, so he's doing the best he can to stop as well.
And then just a word on the Govers stroke miss. We'll watch Zalewski here as he tries to get through the legs looking for another penalty corner, but that could be a crucial miss, couldn't it, that stroke miss?
Oh yeah, we make a lot of opportunities. I think, I think he'll get a couple anyway, so we'll see how we go. But I reckon, as long as he doesn't switch on or switches off from that moment, I think he'll play a good enough game as it is.
Thanks for your input.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Great break forward by India with Nikin Tamaya, but he just plays it into the foot of Dawson. It'll be a free hit to India. Played on quickly by Danish. Danish trying to get to the baseline. Can he pull the ball back now? Can he win a penalty corner? Feet lifted out the way by Australia. Long corner is the best he can do. In fact, it's a 16. Chris Sorrello, of course, has some Indian roots, his grandfather having played for Customs in India, and he's also looking to try and get involved and put something back in the game and coach up in India if he can. So he's looking for opportunities and apparently has sorted out a passport that allows him to do so. Big question is, with his injury that he's carrying at the moment. He was telling me he went for a run and he's not feeling too bad. But the Australian team will be announced to the players on the 26th of June. It's not far away. So we will find out who the 16 players are going to Rio. If you consider that there are a number of players still back in Australia, Kieran Govers, Jake Wetton, Jamie Dwyer, Mark Knowles, Matt Goads, there really is a wealth of riches at their disposal. SV Sunil goes to the baseline, chased by Dawson. Dawson stick low down, did really well to dispossess the Indian attacker. Now it's Orchard. Orchard to Devan. Devan just lost control of it. Akashdeep was putting pressure on. Zalewski, though, wonderful pass to Ogilvie. Ogilvie was trying to deflect it to Mitten and got it to him. Govers is in space. Will he take it first time? Yes, he will. Raghunath gets there, though, and just belts it away at the second attempt. Brilliant defending by Raghunath. Australia have played on quickly from the long corner. Zalewski shoots, ricochets up, penalty corner. High fives, Australia.
Well, a great run, and Redbutton plays the ball down to the left-hand side. Govers is actually looking for a ball to be played on the far post, but Raghunath covers the line very well, and actually there's a sixer in cricket terms.
Raghunath watching it really well. And he came into this tournament, questions over his defensive qualities, but he's been really solid this tournament.
He's did really well in the centre-back position. You know, he's always been playing as a left defender, but this time he's playing the centre-back and playing very well.
So Australia with their 6th penalty corner. Dawson and Govers wait. Will they try a variation? Ogilvie moves away, goes to Govers. Srijesh! Another great save. Srijesh is the hero here.
Well, a great run, you know, and Srijesh goes down very quickly and deflects that ball with his extended hand. The ball goes over the post, over the line, to the stands, where a great catch by the lady in
Swan shoots, Srijesh saves again. That was brilliantly taken by Swan. Super little pass to pick him out in space. It's another penalty corner for Australia.
But Surinder had that ball in the corner, looking to clear the ball. A lot of pressure in Zalewski as well as Swan, and the ball hits into his foot. The first thing he's got to do, got to bring it on your strong side and push the ball out.
Well, we've got a real game on our hands here. Beale makes his way to the baseline. Will they go with Govers again, or will it be Hayward? Dawson is there. Orchard has moved to stop at the second castle. Swan at the first. Govers lines up at the first. Dawson at the second. Hayward waiting. They may try a variation. Beale injects. Swan stops. It is a bunt to Hayward. And it's lifted dangerously, so it's India's ball. They look to play on quickly. The ball played out wide to Devinder Valmiki. Akashdeep gets it. Australia getting players back. Dawson, who was at the edge of the circle seconds ago, picks up the ball, lifts an aerial pass to Zalewski. Beale pulls wide. Comes to Govers, who spins and slips, manages to get it to Ogilvie. Now it's to Orchard. Mandeep closes him down. It's end-to-end stuff as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half. Still no goals, but plenty of excitement. Devan moves out to the right-hand side. Philpott helps it forward.
First foul then. Come on. Just inside.
Just inside, 22 metres. Comes out wide to Ogilvie. Whistle has gone.
You, get off.
So Beale has got a card, and just trying to see who the Pradeep Moore is a little bit off the ball.
Well, there's tight marking going on out there, and you know, there's a bit of argy-bargy, bit of shoving and pushing around. And of course, the umpires are really strict on this, and they get a green card.
Hayward tries to cut in from the left-hand side. Good combination work from SV Sunil and Raghunath. Sunil drills it down the pitch. There'll be a little bit more space with one player from each side missing. Daniel Beale watching on.
Hey, I just can do it. You want to be the next one?
So there's a little bit more going on inside the circle off camera, and Kun van Bunga just having a word with Glenn Turner, and I think it was Cottage. Comes out to the right-hand side. Philpott plays it first time into the chest of Raghunath. Doesn't even flinch. They build them tough in the Coorg.
Well, a great ball played from right across to the help side, to the ball side, and then he hits it flat on, looking for a ball into the circle, and Raghunath, the giant, just puts his body in the way.
It's been a very good start by India in this match. Very different from their performance yesterday. Harmanpreet gives another short little pass to Surrender, who managed to force his way into this side with good performances with the Delhi Wave Riders in the Hockey India League. Lifted over the top, SK Uttapa in space, brings it down, Ockenden ahead of him. Uttapa heads for the baseline, Ockenden with a stick check. In fact, now it's Uttapa who's penalised for shielding the ball.
Well, every time you go onto the left-hand side, you see the defender lunging to trap that ball from you, spin across, and you find a lot of space available on the defender's reverse.
3.5 minutes remaining. We look at the results when they've played in major tournaments. In the Sultan Aslan Shah, Australia won 5-1 in the pool game, 4-0 in the final against India. In the Hockey World League in Belgium, in the pool match, they won 6-2 against India. So this just shows how far India have come, keeping them at bay in this match.
Don't do it. You want every time that I blow to yourself? No, he's tagging me.
Ronan Altmans trying to plead with the umpires. Plenty of Indian supporters. I saw a plea coming out from Hockey India to get any Indian supporters in London to get down here today. Akashdeep brings it down. Philpott behind him, shoots just wide.
A good try by Akashdeep. He gets the ball, traps it with soft hands, gets in the circle, fires a tomahawk just wide.
Lovell had that covered. To hurry for a second. Australia rotating their goalkeepers quarter by quarter at the moment. Charter was under the bar in the first 15 minutes. Now it's Govers, lets it run. Brilliant tackle by Harmanpreet, evades Ockenden, and the crowd absolutely love it. Now it's Akashdeep. Harmanpreet has kept his run going. Nitin Tamaya bumps into Dawson. Whistle goes and it's gone Australia's way. Tamaya shielding the ball.
Well, he didn't allow Dawson to actually tackle that ball. He kept his body in the way and it bumped into Dawson, and now free it given to Australia.
SK Uttapa steals it away from Orchard. Uttapa feeds SV Sunil. Great run from him along the edge of the circle. Back to Uttapa, trying to get a shot. It's ricocheted up. It's a penalty corner for India, and boy, do the crowd love it.
Well, a great ball by Uttapa. Sunil running into the right-hand side, leading into the space to receive that ball. Looks up, finds Uttapa on the 90 back ball, and then he is tackled by Swan. The ball lifts up, and a penalty corner. White, sorry.
Well, this is a golden opportunity for India to snatch the lead before the half-time break. Cedric D'Souza, one of the few in the pundits here who backed India, went with his heart, and some would say his head as well. Raghunath and Harmanpreet wait. They go with Raghunath again. He sweeps towards the goal, deflected away. Well, I think that was Tristan White, was it, who got the touch?
Well, it's a lovely penalty corner routine. Ball for the slider on the left-hand side. Danish Mustafa deflects that ball. Tristan White on the postie goes low on his legs and deflects the ball out with his stick.
They're too late. The penalty, the long corner's been taken.
Yeah. Dion?
Yes, David.
Can you check the 5 metres and whether he's retreated or just stood there and played it, please?
Oh, I see. So, yeah, SK Uttapa took the long corner, were Australia the 5 metres before the tackle came in from Orchard. So Dion Null is looking for that. Here's the long corner. I don't think he was. He starts on the dotted line. So I think he is actually the required distance.
On the slow motion, it looks like he was on dotted line, so it's about 5 meters.
The big thing is, if India have got this wrong, they'll lose their referral.
I see no clear reason to change your decision. The player was behind the dotted line, therefore he is 5 meters. Restart with that free hit. Keep your free hit.
Okay, so it's free hit to India.
Free hit to India off the body of the Australian player.
But India will lose their referral now. So that is a big blow. They got the free hit.
That's okay.
It was a bit of a risk. It looked as if Orchard had, but he was behind the dotted line. So he was the required distance. Fired in, looking for a deflection. Mandeep Lovell is out to cover it.
Well, the penalty corner is a great slider by Danish. Gets in front of his marker, Orchard. But look at Tristan White, low and flat stick. Ball deflects off his stick and goes wide.
What a tournament Tristan White is having. Outstanding. He's scoring goals, he's defending like a dream, and he's relishing the midfield role. SK Uttapa looking for the run and Nikin Tamaya. Philpott, though, pinches it for Australia. Now it's Orchard. Orchard hemmed in by 3 Indian players. Comes to Philpott, back to Belts. Belts will switch it across the back line to Hayward. Hayward looking to find Mitten. Kotajit was there ahead of him. Brilliant skills from Kotajit, the man from Manipur. He now feeds Manpreet. Manpreet just lifts it over the top. Good running from Nikin Tamaya. Nikin tries to go past Belts. Belts just got a touch on that.
Well, Nikin gets that ball. He's actually looking for the 3D skills to go over the flat stick of Belts. Belts does very well to block that ball.
Harmanpreet tries to get past 2. Australians can't get past Orchard. Orchard pushes it forward for Turner. He in turn pushes it forward for Beale. Raghunath, though, just took a touch, and the umpire gets a thumbs up because he noticed that Raghunath pushed it onto the stick of Beale before it went out of play. Eagle-eyed David Tomlinson getting the approval of Raghunath. Last 20 seconds, Harmanpreet throws it into the air. Mandeep is there, but good defensive play again by Philpott.
Well, again, you look at that ball in the left pocket. There's a double pressure on the Australian player.
Orchard just doubling back, looks at the clock, and that is going to be the end of the first half. Roland Altmans makes his way down to the tunnel, the coach of India, but you'd think he'd be very happy because it's Australia 0, India 0. Been a really entertaining first 30 minutes. Going to go pitch side, though, because Michael Absalom is walking off the pitch with PR Srijesh.
Certainly am. A goalless first half, so a clean sheet for you, Sri. Your assessment of that first half. Let's keep walking.
I think my defense are doing a very good job, but still we are considering more penalty corners. We should avoid that. And whenever we are entering the circle, we should get something from that. 2 penalty corners is not more than enough for us, but still we are working really hard on the second half.
You denied that penalty stroke as well. You put a lot of pressure on Govers, didn't you?
Yeah, actually it's a bit pressure on me as well, but when he flicked outside, that's a great relief for me, but one more half to left.
All right, halfway there. See you in the second half.
Thank you very much. See you.
Whatever happens, he's always got a big smile on his face. We thought it would be tight, we thought it'd be tense, and it definitely is. We'll see all the goalmouth action and that missed P-flick after the break. Welcome back for the gold medal match of the Hero Champions Trophy. Australia against India. We were wondering what sort of game we were going to get, and it is very tight indeed. Both sides have had their chances. Australia probably more than India, but so far it still remains 0-0. Look at that beautiful moon. 0-0 at the moment. 11 shots on goal from Australia. 7 to 9 circle penetrations. India having more of the possession. Australia more penalty corners. But that doesn't mean anything when it is still 0-0. Just to recap on the game so far, Belgium beating Korea 4-3, an exciting 5th and 6th playoff match. Belgium scoring 3 goals in 7 minutes to win that one. Germany squeaked past Great Britain in a really good match here, and they take the bronze medal. And at the moment it's Australia 0, India 0. Usual team here, plus Adam Commons, Buckaroos coach, joins us now. We thought that the Aussies would bully them, but India have really stood up to that pressure, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that India have played a fantastic match so far. The Australians have had their chances. Unfortunately, they haven't been as clinical as they have been in the other matches, and they certainly will be trying to be more clinical in this second half.
Well, let's look at one of the big talking points, the P-flick. Was a P-flick, was it not, Sin?
Yeah, that one certainly was a penalty stroke. I feel like it's evened itself out because earlier India should have got a penalty stroke, in my opinion. Strange that they didn't refer it. Obviously, they didn't see it. But this one, for me, definitely a penalty stroke.
And just for those guys that don't know, it's because it's in on goal and it's hit the guy on the foot. It's going to be a definite goal, right, Simon Mason?
Absolutely. A simple rule that if the umpire perceives that it's a shot on goal, has been stopped by a body, stopped illegally, then they're going to award a penalty stroke, and Blake Govers steps up and just pulls it. Probably tried to go a little bit too hard, so right hand pushing through, a bit dominant. Srijesh got down well. I'm not sure he'd have got there if it had been inside the post, but real power as he drove it past that right hand upright.
The Aussies have probably created the more chances, but you've got to say that India have caused a few problems up the other end as well.
Yeah, India have had their chances as well. They've had a number of penalty corners, and when you're playing a team like Australia, you need to execute. As Austin mentioned, they almost got a penalty stroke. They've had one saved on the line. I think the game is in the balance, and certainly India, they can take it if they take the opportunities that they get.
Both keepers in great form. It's really fantastic when you see the keepers really lifting their games. First up, the Indian keeper, Srijesh, just unbeatable at the moment.
Well, Cedric on our team's called him the wall of India on several occasions. Unfortunately for him, he has been outstanding and then had moments that aren't quite as outstanding. But tonight, everything that's been put on him, first and second phase, what he's done really well is those rebound shots. So we saw in the statistics that Australia only with, seven circle penetrations, but 11 shots. So they've got first and second phase, and he's just blocking down. But look, great body shape, core strength, getting down in the face of the opponent, just making sure there is absolutely no space to go through him.
Perhaps he was watching your goalkeeping masterclass this morning, Simon.
I think he moves a little bit quicker and is a little bit more agile, but look at that. Great stretch. Okay, he's played it onto his own player, but extension on both sides of his body, and this was outstanding, not just for the save, but what you can't see on camera, the save in the crowd as it goes over the bar. But it's great to get down that low. Real strong hand position to get the body behind it as well, not using his stick, using the big right-hand pad.
This is one of the areas where Australia really want to tighten up their efficiency at the penalty corner.
Yeah, and I think Blake Govers is an outstanding penalty corner drag flicker. He'd be a little disappointed with his execution tonight. I was mentioning off camera a moment ago, if you want to flick low, you have to flick very low. If you want to flick high, you have to flick very high. And what he's done is he's put it in that middle ground, and they're very savable flicks.
Yeah, and it's not just Srijesh in great form. Tyler, your old mate, Tyler Lovell, has also made some good saves.
Yeah, we've had him up here in the comms box chatting about some stuff. He came in, yeah, and he's doing his job. He hasn't had as much to do as Srijesh, but good high hand position on that corner particularly. He's come across with his left hand. We talked earlier on in the programme about the Korean goalkeeper just letting balls hit him, but that movement with the left hand is driving through the ball so there's no rebound opportunity. And yet when it comes in, he has to make a smother save. That comes off the postie, but in terms of his body shape, he's getting down, he's reading where the ball's going. Good left foot extension to try and cover that, and he gets good help from a teammate.
But the postie there is staying low, and that's what's important there. He hasn't actually seen this, I don't think. He hasn't had time to react. But the fact that his stick is down low, it's given them the chance to save it. And I suppose we should say that Charter was actually keeping in the first goal, so both keepers have done well.
Yeah, both keepers have. Right, I think we'll just cross over to Mike, because I think he is with Roland, the Indian coach.
Yes, I am. They've won the crowd, haven't they, India, in this first half? But can they go on and win the game? And if so, how, Roland?
You can never can predict if you're going to win or lose the game. I think it's a much better game than yesterday so far. We played well. We had our opportunities, they had opportunities. So yeah, it will be a very tough second half, but we are all out to try to win the game offshore. Of course, that's clear.
Good luck in that second half.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's join our commentary team, Ashley Morrison and Cedric D'Souza.
India push back to get the second half and the third quarter underway. Who can break the deadlock? Will Australia show a little bit more calmness under pressure? Will India make the penalty corners they earn count? It promises to be a scintillating 30 minutes.
Well, if India can use the aerial ball, the aerial route out from the ball side to the help side, there'll be a lot of spaces to exploit. And with the strikers in such great form and such great speed that they have, they can exploit the Australian defence. I've been saying that in studio, and I still believe that they can beat them only on the counters.
So India now trying to hem Australia in their final third. Strong challenge comes from Surrender. Manages to feed SV Sunil. He managed to send Belts the wrong way with a good shift of body weight. Zalewski, though, has it now for Australia. He gets it through to Govers. Govers gets it to Beale. I think it clipped Govers' heel as he was running forward. Akashdeep getting more involved. Dawson penalised. Akashdeep looks to get on, decides to leave the ball. Harmanpreet. Kotaji sweeps out wide to Surrender Kumar. There's a great block from Zalewski. Manpreet off the foot of Tristan White.
India do well to not go to the direct route, to go around the Australian defence, move them because they've got speed, and then try and get into the circle.
Ockenden, he's been playing well, and can he affect this game and the result? SV Sunil showing the desperation that's needed in a game like this. He's really relished the vice-captaincy and captaincy role handed to him by Roland Altmans in the form of his life, SV Sunil.
Well, when he had the captain's band, he really led from the front, and he's continued to do that when he's not captain also. He's just playing his heart out.
Devinder into Manpreet. He's closed down by Trent Mitten. Now it's Raghunath. Raghunath, though, goes back to Kotaji. Kotaji to won the Pargat Singh Defender of the Year award, dribbling it out of defence. The fans love it, off the foot of Zalewski. That is the wonderful skills of Kotaji and the confidence he has.
Well, he almost lost that ball on top of the circle, and when he lost it, Beale had that ball and he had a player in front of him. He just covered the space so quickly, stole the ball back and drove through the centre.
To be honest, he's a player I love watching.
Well, he's a complete defender. He's a really fantastic player who can go up front also, has the skills and the speed.
His speed is phenomenal. It just looks so easy when he accelerates forward. Now it's Ogilvie for Australia. Comes back to Swan, the man from Mackay in Queensland. Devan looking to fire that in, but it was well read by Harmanpreet. India throwing numbers forward. SV Sunil, Akashdeep has led down the middle. Manpreet's wide. Desperation from Devan. That's why he's got the captain at armband. Chinglan Sana tried to win it back, but strong tackles. But Australia was scrambling.
Well, you know, India's biggest strength is the counter-attack, the speed that they have in the strikers, and Australia has to be very careful of having numbers at the back when they're going up front, because they can be punished with the speed of the Indian strikers.
This was the bronze medal match 2 years ago. Champions Trophy turning to a biennial event in 2012. Originally played in 1978, was the brainchild of Air Marshal Nur Khan from Pakistan. Nikin Tamaya looks to break forward. Tristan White goes with him. Belts assists, but Tamaya keeps possession. Decision, though, goes Australia's way.
But they really channeled him towards the flank, didn't allow him to cut into the centre, And, you know, there were two people pressurizing him and he lost the ball.
Govers trying to turn, got out the way and it hit Cottage's foot. Govers still trying to go top of the circle, loves it on the reverse. Ricochets up, I think that was off Harmanpreet. It will be a penalty corner.
Yellow header, come up blue, straight up in the air.
Well, there was a double press on Govers. He was strong on the ball, getting into the circle. Harmanpreet as well as Raghunath pressed him. Ball goes off Harmanpreet's stick, or Raghunath's stick actually, and rises up in the circle, and a penalty corner. Dangerous play.
Can Australia break the deadlock? Go into another huddle. Hayward is out there, Srijesh limbering up as he does before every penalty corner, needs all his muscles to be loose. Hayward, Govers, Dawson all waiting. It will be though Govers or Hayward. Comes to Govers, looking for a variation. They were trying to feed Beale the injector. He was meant to be sliding in and deflecting that past Srijesh, but again, Australia failed to convert.
Well, you know, you look at that ball, played inside at the back of Kotajit, but Beale is completely unsighted and hits him on the foot. But, you know, Australia is committing 8 people up front for the penalty corner, just 2 at the back. If there's a counter-attack, they're going to be really hit very hard.
Philpott, good touch from him, gets it to Tristan White. On the overlap comes Belts, but it goes to Flynn Ogilvie. Ogilvie, lovely behind his back pass to Belts, but unfortunately, kicked his foot. So now they're going to be out for India.
Yeah, good.
Looking a little bit nervous, that gentleman in the crowd. Plenty of support for India. Another free hit goes India's way. The crowd are really, Cedric, definitely on India's side.
Hold on, hey! Both of you, eh? Both of you! Okay.
Still a little bit going on further up the pitch. Kun van Bunga having to bring that under control. I wonder who his brother's supporting. His brother was the coach of the West Australian women's cricket team, Rob van Bunga. Long corner to India.
I mean, look at both the Australian keepers. They're really so cool and calm and collected in the circle when there's so much of pressure on the ball. Around the area, they're just very calm.
Great steal by Ogilvie. He's got Turner ahead of him. Ogilvie goes himself. Now he pushes to Turner. Turner on an acute angle, needs to get it across. Does it, comes back, the shot comes in. Stopped on the line from Beale. Penalty corner. So there was Turner, across the goal it came. And Beale hits it straight into the shin pad of Kotajit. Dawson was the man that India were feeling should have been penalised because he slid in and brought Kotajit to ground. Well, India don't have a referral, so there's nothing they can do there. It was a good break by Ogilvie, stole possession in on his own 22-metre line and then broke forward.
Well, this is Australia's 9th penalty corner.
Dawson and Hayward, they go to Hayward. It's not a good trap this time by Swan. Raghunath playing on with his gloves. India want a quick counter-attack, feeds it all out to Danish. Danish feeds Nick into Maya. Mandeep's inside the circle. Chinglansana tries a shot, ricochets up. Charter comes out and clears well. Brilliant goalkeeping by Andrew Charter.
No danger.
Made the decision to come, made sure he got the ball and cleared the danger.
Well, he was aggressive in the circle. He found an Indian player open. He came in front, threw his body up front and kicked that ball to safety.
Andrew Charter was telling me how much his parents sacrificed for him to pursue his hockey, and he feels he owes it all. His mum apparently has only missed 5 games he's ever played, and it is a card now to Matthew Swan. And the Indian supporters are on their feet, over the moon about that. So India now have a 1-man advantage. Women's Champions Trophy gets underway tomorrow. USA versus the Hockeyroos. It comes across. Zalewski, brilliant skills. That will be played at midday here in London. Second match, Argentina versus Great Britain. That is at 2 o'clock. And following that, the Netherlands, the world #1 against the Black Sticks, New Zealand. That's at 4 o'clock. Make sure you get down here. The tickets are still available. You can get them through the England Hockey website.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's okay.
Got a couple of Australian players getting cards in this match. It just shows how the Indian players have intimidated them and not been intimidated themselves.
It's been stolen by SV Sunil. Mandeep's made a good run forward. Nick into Myers wide. Good defensive play by Philpott. Chinglansana wants to get on with it quickly. Danish was in space. Goes back to Surrender Kumar. Turner now trying to close down. Drilled in front of the goalkeeper was Hayward. And that was a very important connection from him.
Yeah, it's okay there.
Well, a great cross ball into the circle by Surrender. And Hayward does very well to get low and deflect that ball. Nicken just lurking on the far post.
And a rare mistake, Pardeep Moore. Roland Altman's, though, still encouraging, looking up at the clock. There are just over 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Still no goals in this, the 36th edition of the Hero Hockey Champions Trophy. It's the final. Ogilvie again looks to steal, but it's Chinglansana comes up with the ball. He plays it out wide. Pardeep Moore helps it into the circle. Good turn from Mandeep. Charter's done well. Philpott comes across, covers his keeper, but it's a penalty corner to India.
Mandi does very well.
Talking to.
Mandi does very well. He posts up, gets that ball, turns Simon Orchard, and draws Charter out and plays the ball up to a foot of an Australian defender. Great stuff by Mandeep. Great vision, great posting up, and a nice penalty corner earned.
I think the talking to Mandeep goal, he's just followed through a little bit on Andrew Philpott. So SK Uttapa has the responsibility of injecting. Needs to be a good, firm push. Chinglansana and Danish looking to stop. Raghunath and Harmanpreet wait. And it's a poor trap. Comes through to Mandeep. Pressure applied straight away by Ockenden. Still a free hit for India. They've got to get it back to where it happens. Raghunath takes it quickly. Akashdeep into the circle. Akashdeep looks to fire it across. He's got another penalty corner for India.
All Akashdeep does is just moves the stick over the ball, trying to make the player, defender commit. Dawson, with all his experience, loses that ball, kinds of foot to penalty corner.
So SK Uttapa is going to get a second chance to inject. Harmanpreet at the first battery with Chinglansana stopping. Raghunath at the second with Danish stopping.
Well done, boys, well done. Wait for the whistle. 8 seconds, wait.
Have to wait for the time to elapse and then the whistle. Will it be Harmanpreet? Yes, it will. He sweeps, doesn't get a good purchase. Charter saves, follow up from SK Uttapa. But it was obstruction further forward. Now it's a good clearance. Orchard brings it under control. India flooding players back. Good pass over the top to Ogilvie. Brilliant by Orchard. Ogilvie to the baseline, just pulls it back, fires it across. He lifted it, and it's been deemed dangerous. And I think Ogilvie's going to get a card for questioning the umpire. A silly card for Australia.
Well, you know, apart from questioning him, he yelled at him. That's what it has to be. There has to be a decorum and the way you call to an umpire. You can ask for a question, but you can't be shouting at an umpire. It just looks like they are really intimidated.
Flynn Ogilvie made his debut in 2014 against India in the Test series in Perth. They won the first Test 4-0 Australia, but then they ended up losing the series 2-1. They lost it 3-0, 3-1 rather. India winning the second Test 2-1, and then 1-0, and then 3-1.
One step, one step, one step.
But India should keep a press at the moment. Sorry, India should put a press at this moment because they're one down again. Australia has played a couple of minutes in this game without their full team, but one shot.
And India are on top. That's a misdirected pass though. Mitten has Turner ahead, also has Ockenden just behind. He'll probably just hold things up. In fact, he's lost possession. SK Utupa gets it back. Mitten looks to close down, feeds Pardeep more. Orchard with a great steal, fed it to Turner. Raghunath has got the free hit, and now Mitten will get a card. And the crowd, and Mitten's got a yellow card, so that's 5 minutes on the side. The wheels may be wobbling. I don't think they've come off for Australia, but they need a little bit of tightening at the moment. Top of the circle is Talvinder, brilliant tackle. Philpott recovering well and combining with Dawson. So Australia 2 men down at the moment.
Support here, boys.
India really need to make it count now. Good run from Talvinder, finds Mandeep. Mandeep fires it back, but he just finds Okkanen. He needed a little bit more composure. Comes back to try and steal off Okkanen, but it'll be a free hit to Australia.
Well, the intention of Mandeep was good. He tried to play the back ball, the 90-degree ball, but not a single Indian player. They're all going towards the penalty spot.
Dawson, that was a tired lift. Akashdeep slips. Danish carries forward. Looks to take on Orchard. Feeds it out to Pardeep Moore. Moore goes back to Harmanpreet. He feeds it across to the left-hand side. Surrender Kumar, will he slide a pass into the circle? No. Goes back to Harmanpreet. Pardeep Moore breaks, and it's a misdirected pass, and Australia survive another attack from India.
Keep on playing, boys. Come on. Keep on playing.
Oh, they're happy at the moment. The man to the left looked a little bit more nervous watching on. Dawson drills the ball forward. Raghunath stick low down, gets possession back for India. Looks to feed Kotajit. He spins away from Okkanen. Kotajit just calming things down. India were a little bit frenetic for a while. Raghunath has to check back to collect that pass. Danish back to Raghunath again. Australia are back to 10 men now. Still 1 down. Mitten still with 3 minutes to go on the side by my estimations. They weathered the storm of being 2 men down. Swan to Okkanen. Okkanen tangles with Danish Mustafa and then tangles with Devinder Valmiki, but it's an Australia ball, and Australia claiming that Devinder should have got a card for playing on. There are times Australia feel they're persecuted because of their success. Everyone wanting the underdog to succeed. Turner did brilliantly to keep that in play. Wins a long corner for Australia.
Turner's had quite a quiet tournament by his standards. He's such a live wire. You give him half a chance, he converts them. He's scored a couple of goals, but you know, you need much more from a Glenn Turner.
He's got 3 to his name at the moment. Marco Miltau is the leading scorer in the tournament with 4 goals. Orchard brings it down brilliantly. He advances into the circle as Raghunath trying to get the ball between his legs. And somehow Raghunath gets the decision. Orchard has a conversation with the umpire.
But Raghunath just stayed low, waited, he jab tackled once. Orchard still had the ball. He just kept his position, kept low and got the ball.
Great take by Nikin Tamaya, but an even better steal by Tim Devan. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter, still no goals. Plenty of opportunities at both ends. Are we going to get a goal, or are we going to go into a shootout? The coaches will have their final say as the players go off for the final break in this match. Heading into the final quarter, it is Australia 0, India 0 in the Hero Champions Trophy final. Roland Altmans has his players around him. Let's see if we can hear what he's saying. I think it's going to be a little bit hard to hear the noise in the stadium. Look at some of the highlights. Zalewski's defending, that was outstanding. Nikin Tamaya was trying to claim that came off the foot. All stick from Zalewski. See it again. Just drags it away from Nikin Tamaya. I think he was just hoping there, Cedric.
Well, fantastic skills under so much pressure. He put it on the first touch. The first touch was brilliant. and receive and move forward.
And stay on the field, please. Okay? Just, so you need the urgency.
Top of the board on the floor, the word is discipline. And that's been a key factor with cards being issued to the Australian players. Final 15 minutes. They've been thoroughly entertained, the crowd here. Going pitch side for the thoughts of Graham Reid with Michael Absalom.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more about what was on that board. We saw the word discipline, and what did you talk to the players about?
You can probably imagine what I said.
I'd love to know.
We had a yellow card and a green card purely just from the lack of discipline. So that was one of the points. But look, we're looking forward to the opportunity. To be honest, this is great. This is what our team needs, and we're going to be using it. That is a good challenge.
How does it play into your hands?
Well, no, look, great opportunity for us to use some of the things that we've been talking about, and that's holding the ball better. You know, we've been trying to win the game off every single attack, and we can't do that. It's coming now. Sorry.
Thank you.
Harmanpreet across the D. Great touch from Hayward. Went to White, but White clipped his foot.
Yeah, okay.
So India play it back to Manpreet. Now Kottaji sweeps it across the pitch to Surrender Kumar. Deflected out of play.
Well, it's a good point of, good thought process to change the point of attack. The ball in the left pocket, bring it right across the right-hand side, and then find the ball inside. Surrender lifts that ball into the circle, and dangerous play.
Just about to say, Graham Reid has played in 9 Champions Trophies and won gold 4 times. He's coached in 2 and won gold in 2012. Got bronze in 2014 when Australia beat India in the playoff there. Can he get another gold? Or is he going to complete the set with a silver rather?
Well, so far, actually, it's been India actually having their, more of the ball. It's been a midfield battle, but India has had the edge. As far as Australia is concerned, I think they're losing patience, and they're trying to force it all the time.
Akashdeep plays on quickly. India have numbers. Akashdeep goes the reverse. Good shot, good save. Bubble back under the bar, having swapped with Charter. Kottaji looking to try and feed it to Devinder Valmiki. Australia back to a full strength 11 players, and that'll make a big difference.
Well, Akashdeep drives out in the circle, takes the reverse tomahawk. Lovell driving forward with his core strength, palms the ball to safety.
Covers penalised for clumsy tackle more than anything on Surrender. Mitten, well, that was clever. Watched it onto his stick, but it's gone out of play now. Australia can try and hem India in, except Raghunath will come across and lift it into the air. Zalewski got a touch, not the best, but Govers gets it to Zalewski now. Zalewski looks up, drills it with power. Goes into the goal, but no touch. It was a good run from Mitten into that area, but he just couldn't get the touch Australia needed.
Well, if Zalewski had held that ball for half a second longer, Mitten would have been in a position to receive that ball and deflect the ball. But Srijesh was actually in the angle anyway.
SK Uthappa, well, it's
Inside.
gone India's way again. SK Uthappa feeds it now to Devinder Valmiki, who gets a free hit. Australia feel all the decisions at the moment are going India's way, but India playing very well. Harmanpreet. Well, that was into Ogilvy's stick. Ogilvy, who has been lively when he's on the pitch and not arguing with the umpire.
Well, he's in the same kind of mold of an Orchard and Eddie Ockenden mold. He's one of those midfielders who can control play, who can run with the ball, and who's got strength on the ball.
He has 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and his brothers Kurt and Heath played at the Indoor World Cup in 2015 for Australia, so pretty special for the family to have 3 members playing in that tournament. Belts. Goes back to Dawson.
What's good to see is India's just patient, waiting for the ball to be turned over and then playing the counter-attack. Look at the forwards, they're all back in the 50-yard line, just holding their zones, holding the outline ball.
Tarvinder always works hard in his defensive duties as a forward. Comes to Tristan White. Zaluski's made a good run forward for Australia. Free hit taken quickly. Super stick work across the top of the circle. Deflects in. India take it out. And now Australia have to defend. SV Sunil. Hayward had to pull out of that challenge. Dawson, though, will get a card. Very clumsy. The stick through the legs. Yellow card to Matthew Dawson. SV Sunil very slow. He's not even up to his feet. We're hearing that it's a 10-minute yellow card, Cedric.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute yellow card, definitely. Umpire Gunga has definitely said, yes, 10 minutes yellow.
Well, that means Dawson will only be back for 27 seconds of this match. So Australia, we heard Graham Reid talk about discipline. He's now going to have his team defend with 10 players for the last 10 minutes of the match. Can India break Australia down and record a famous victory? First final in a major tournament for 36 years. This is a huge moment for Indian hockey as Raghunath misses, goes through to Srijesh, brings it under control and then just kicks the ball out to Harmanpreet. The fans love that. Beale puts pressure on. Now it's Kotajit getting a little bit further forward. Ogilvie penalised. Kotajit plays on, feeds it to Manpreet. Manpreet just checks back as Zaluski came across, came off the shins of Ogilvie. Another free hit pushed away by Australia. Crowd want to see another card. They have to wait for Christmas for that.
India showing a lot of patience. You know, on the tackling, they're just waiting for the Australians to receive the ball, and then they're putting pressure on the ball. What the Australians are doing, they're trying to shape every ball away, tackle each and every ball in a 50-50 chance, and losing possession and getting the space behind them.
Well, the crowd finding their voice. Harmanpreet, his pass forward though, intercepted by Govers. And again, Danish playing on. He's claiming he didn't hear the whistle. Well, it is getting a little bit noisier, but the whistle was pretty loud. Govers doesn't bring it under control, so Kotajit sweeps it out to Danish Mushtaba in space. Kotajit on Father Chinglansana, it is in a battle with Orchard. Chinglansana comes out on top, feeds it to Manpreet. Zaluski tries to steal, Zaluski does steal. It's 3-on-3. Orchard has Beale out of it. Orchard got a little knock in the back from Raghunath. The umpire didn't give it, then it was a stick check from Raghunath, so now it's a free hit. Orchard has to travel 5 metres before he can go into the circle. Comes back to him, it's a free hit for Australia, just outside the circle. Drilled across, and the touch wasn't there. I think it deflected off Govers' stick.
Well, there's no way you can get that ball. The ball little lofted into the circle, slightly over the flat stick, but neither Govers nor the Indian players could trap that ball. It went right across the entire pitch.
Well, it's great to see so many Indian fans here cheering their team on. Hopefully there's plenty back in all the hockey hotbeds of India, like Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, Orissa. It is the early hours of the morning over there, but it's well worth getting up and watching the way this team has played tonight. Raghunath sending Beale the wrong way. Moves forward, Devan, who's been rock solid at the back for Australia. Turner. Free hit, now it's the Indian players complaining at the umpires. Should credit them, they've done a great job, Cedric, in this game, because there has been a lot of moaning from both sides.
Oh, the umpires have been really top-notch, you know, right through. In fact, in this entire tournament, they've been really strong umpires. No nonsense, no argy-bargy, cards given out immediately. Keep control of the game.
Incredible statistic just came on the screen, Cedric. 79% possession for India. That is huge as Orchard bulldozes his way forward. and he gets a push in the back. In fact, he doesn't get the decision, and he's going to go for a referral. I don't blame him. Simon Orchard usually is pretty good with his referrals.
I think basically you said about twice being hacked.
Yeah, David.
Deliberate tackle outside the circle.
Having a look for a deliberate breakdown.
Yeah.
I thought he got a push in the back as well. So Orchard breaking forward here. There's definitely a push with the arm coming there from Devinder Valmiki. Not allowed to touch. There you can see on the left-hand side, Devinder Valmiki has his arm in the back. There's a push, and then another push, and then I think Orchard's feet just slip.
Well, looking at it in slow motion, I think it's a push in 2 instances.
Dion now is the man who has to make the decision. There's the push, in my opinion.
I think Uthappa is then covering up space, and Devinder Valmiki just gives him a slight shove, and he falls over.
David.
Go ahead.
I have a decision for you.
Okay.
The Indian player has played the man from behind with the arm, therefore a penalty corner.
No problem.
Australia keep their...
Wry smile on the face of Simon Orchard. Simon Orchard, though, usually is very good with his referrals. He doesn't waste them.
Well, that's a great referral by him. You know, he got hacked the first time. He pushed. He got hacked outside the 25-yard line, pushed in the 25-yard line twice. And that's a cardinal foul by Valmiki and a penalty corner given.
David Tomlinson just called Tim Devan, the captain of Australia, over and has had a word with the players, back-chatting the umpires. And that's good umpiring. And Devan has just said, guys, calm it down. We're already down to 10 men. So there's just 2 defenders back for Australia. But can they make this penalty corner count? Mitten and Hayward. Comes to Hayward, looking for the deflection from Turner, and it didn't come. Once more, the crowd are cheering. Wasn't far away.
Well, it's a great routine because you look at it, it goes past the first charger, kind of gets down low, the ball goes past him, and safe for India.
Shrijesh encouraging his troops. We're getting very, very close to shootout time. Look at the domination of India since half-time and in the first quarter. They have really taken this match to Australia. Free hit to India again. Australia still down to 10 men. They're going to be down to 10 men until the last 30 seconds.
Well, Raghunath tried the slide sweep, looking towards the left side, but sweeping the ball towards the right side. Didn't connect. The ball went on the left outside. They're trying everything. They're trying everything to get inside.
Roland Altman's not giving anything away. Graham Reid pacing around the dugout. Manpreet leaves it behind for Akashdeep. Raghunath. Crowd are trying to urge India to attack, but they need to be patient. They mustn't get caught up in the emotion. Matthew Dawson looks close to tears over there. Well, that's terrible to see in any player, but it shows just how much this tournament means to the players. This is the penultimate Champions Trophy, if what we hear out of the FIH is true, and that's sad. They want to win this, Australia.
Well, you know, Matthew Dawson will learn from that mistake today. There was no need to throw his body and put his stick between the legs.
Stolen by India, then Nitin Tamar played it back into the retreating feet of Tim Devan.
Just on the... You control.
So Manpreet back to Surrender Kumar. Raghunath closed down by Beal. Australian players having to work really hard, that extra fitness really counting. Fired in, again it's a good, clear kick from Tyler Lovell.
What fascinates me about Lovell is he's so cool. You know, he's nonchalantly just pushing that ball away.
Driven across, and it was crucial Ogilvie got the touch, as that was coming straight through to Danish Mustafa. Orchard gets another push, no card issued. And I think that's what Australia are a little bit upset about. Orchard again driving forward, another stick check on Orchard. And there should be a card this time. Orchard landed on top of Manpreet.
Yeah, this guy's going for a tackle. Right, did you see something here? Right, your tackle, yellow card.
My tackle?
Yeah, your tackle.
So Nikin Tamaya is the player getting a yellow card. He actually looked as if he got the ball there, Cedric.
Well, I think it was the stick first on the ball.
5 minute yellow, stick there.
So we're back to 10 apiece now for the rest of this match. Australia will have 11 for the last 30 seconds. It's a game that has been fascinating. Ockenden feeds it to Philpott. Philpott to the ever-busy and involved Orchard. Orchard again tries to get the better of Surrender Kumar. Hit the turf again, plays on, runs at the feet of Akashdeep.
Just dribble straight in.
Akashdeep didn't put in a challenge, but he hadn't gone the required 5 metres. Philpott tries to slide one. Orchard gets a touch. Philpott comes. It's a free hit to Australia. 2.5 minutes remaining. Is there going to be a late winner? Swan on the left-hand side. Are we going to go to a shootout? Will Srijesh be the hero? So many questions, so little time left. Comes to the top of the circle. Philpott has to make an attempt to get there. Akashdeep got there first. Lifted over the top. Ockenden, though, picks up for Australia. India sitting deep. Comes to Devan. Devan out wide to Philpott, who was a late replacement for Tom Craig when he rolled his ankle at the first training session. Now it's Tristan White. White, who's got 3 goals in 3 games. Surely he can't get a 4th, and Srijesh lets it run. No touch. The wall of India stays rock solid.
Well, it's nice because he sees the ball coming through. He sees there's no danger on the far post. Lets the ball go through his paths into the goal.
India is the call from the crowd. Even the English fans are cheering on for India. Australia hadn't dropped a game. They only had a draw with Great Britain in their opening match. But India have really taken it to them. Roland Altmans will be proud. It's going to go down to the lottery of a shootout. Danish Mustafa tries to get forward. Orchard almost impeded him. Devan now forces him backwards. Now Govers joins in. We're into the final minute. India need to attack. It's Harmanpreet, one of the coolest cucumbers, I was going to say, coolest players on the pitch, but he is cool as a cucumber, no doubt about it. Orchard carries forward. Now it's Ockenden. Their combination is the key. Definite foul in the back from Mandy. Devan plays on, gives it to White. Ockenden was pulling wide, but it's back with Philpott. Australia should be back to full strength. Dawson is sitting on the side still. They've given it away to Manpreet, but they are back with 11 players. Now it's SV Sunil. Can he work a moment of magic for India? Pushes it forward. Danish has to stretch. Manpreet takes on Hayward. Hayward stick low down. The decision goes the way of Australia. Manpreet shielding the ball, and that will be it. And the Indian players sink to their knees. The Australian players walking off. That shows just how much effort India has put in. Now it will be down to that man, Srijesh, in the shootout. Final score in the final of the Hero Champions Trophy 2016. Australia 0, India 0. Shootout coming up next.
Well, what a thrilling match. No goals at Simon or Austin there, but we had just about everything else.
Absolutely, we had a coach asking for discipline to then find two of his players going out in the final quarter. You had an Indian team that have shown us something that we have not seen for a long, long time. The Australians threw everything at them, but they were resolute, the Indians, and they showed a real physicality that's been missing for their game for a long time.
So we've got a shootout now. First big decision that the Aussie coach has got to make is which keeper.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Andrew Charter has done a fantastic job for Australia all tournament, as has Tyler Lovell, and we remember the Hockey India League, Tyler Lovell being instrumental in a victory of his team there. So, difficult choice. I can't predict who it will be, but I can guarantee that both of them will be high-quality goalkeepers in this situation.
Just, Austin, remind everybody you've got 8 seconds from when the hooter, the whistle goes, to go from the 23-yard line and beat the keeper, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 8 seconds. It's actually a little bit more time than you think. Often players they may lose the first opportunity, but there is still time to regain it and have another go at goal.
I can confirm that the Aussies have chosen Tyler Lovell. He's been in great form, so it's not exactly a weakness, is it, Simon?
No, not at all. And it's a great position for Graham Reid to be in, to have two goalkeepers of such incredible quality to be able to pick from. Obviously, one of them isn't going to fare so well from an Olympic selection perspective, but they are outstanding. But to be fair to Srijesh, he's not done badly too either.
I think for Lovell as well, as he's been playing, he's warm. It is quite chilly this evening, so I think that could also make a difference when we're talking about the tiny reactions. If he is warm, that could be the deciding factor.
When I saw the Aussies for the first time, gosh, it feels like a month ago, it was only a week ago, they were practicing this. How much practice do the teams put into this?
I think it's one of the things that Australia does very well, and they make sure they concentrate on the details. And whilst they like to win in regular time, the reality is that sometimes you find yourself in this situation, and the Aussie men are a team that are very well prepared in this situation.
It made us laugh a little bit earlier on when Cedric suggested that they would be India, this is pressure-free, and that they would go out and enjoy it. I'm not sure this is a pressure-free zone here.
Well, it's not a pressure-free zone, but India have got positive history in this. They took a bronze in the World League finals, beating the Netherlands, having gone to 5-all in regulation time. They gave it away, they had one chance to win it, it came back to level, and then they won it after that, and nobody expected them to, so they've got some positive memories.
Yeah, I think you do feel a lot of pressure in these moments as a player. You know that, especially as an Indian player, you know the whole of India is behind you watching this back home, and really as a player you step up there to the mark, and it's about trying to keep cool and calm. You've practiced this so many times, it's just about executing, but really as a spectator or the commentator it is much easier than when you're actually out there.
I bet. And as a coach, do you look at the players in the eyes and say, yeah, you'll do for me, you're number one, number two, or have you already decided weeks ago?
It's usually decided, and they know what they need to do.
Okay, let's go back to the commentary team.
Thanks very much, Chris. Well, first up is Australia, Aaron Zalewski to take on PR Srijesh. Srijesh behind his goal. We're waiting for the whistle.
Ready, play ready.
Whistle goes, Zalewski goes straight down the barrel. Srijesh comes out past the penalty spot. Zalewski on the tomahawk into the roof of the net. Australia take the lead in the shootout. That is some finish.
Well, Srijesh comes out, closes at the angle. Zalewski moves to the left-hand side and slings the tomahawk right across over the mouth, over the outstretched goalkeeper and to the roof of the net.
Now for India, it is SK Uttapa who has to take on Tyler Lovell.
Wait.
Waiting for the whistle again. 8 seconds from the 22. SK Uttapa goes down the middle. Lovell comes out to the penalty spot, goes to his right. SK Uttapa, he's missed it. He put it into the side of the goal. So it's Australia 1, India 0.
Lovell does well. He comes to the penalty spot, stops, waits for Uttapa to go to the long side. Uttapa pulls the ball to the left-hand side, loses control of the ball, and then tries to swing the ball inside. It was too deep.
Did lose control, so SK Uttapa has to trudge back to his teammates. Now it's the turn of Daniel Beale. Roland Altman's looking on. Beale again goes down the middle. Srijesh comes, backpedals. Beal looks to go into reverse, spins. Srijesh saves, trying to get to the ball is Beal. He's saying Srijesh is stopping it. Srijesh isn't. And that was brilliant by Srijesh. If the ball had got stuck underneath him, would have been a stroke, but he did really, really well. I think there is going to be a referral.
Leon, can you hear me?
I can hear you, good.
Right, can you please have a look if it was obstruction, as the Australian claimed, and afterwards a stick tag.
So looking for an obstruction from Srijesh.
For the obstruction.
Thank you.
And what follows.
Yep.
Cedric, you're the expert here.
Well, I think what's happened is that he, the ball rolled under Srijesh's pads and he couldn't play that ball. And then after that, it's a stick check there.
Couldn't.
So basically before that.
I have a decision for you.
Yes.
There was an unintentional foul, obstruction, and therefore a retake.
Thank you.
So it'll be a retake for Daniel Beal. The crowd don't like the decision coming down from Dion Nell, and Roland Altmans is not happy as well. He's now complaining to the tournament director.
Ready to go for the whistle?
Well, Roland Altmans is absolutely livid. So Daniel Beal waits for the whistle. Beal goes down the middle again. Srijesh backpedals again. Beal goes to the right. He finishes this time. So Beal, at the second chance, beats Srijesh.
But Srijesh comes down, comes onto the penalty spot, waits for Beal to turn. He spins one way. Srijesh actually backpedals one step back and opens up the angle for Beal to score that ball past him.
Now it is SV Sunil, as Roland Altmans is still absolutely apoplectic. SV Sunil, this is to keep India alive at 2-0 down. And he's missed as well. Lovell forced him wide. India have missed both of theirs. Australia have scored both of theirs.
Well, you look what Sunil does. He pulls Lovell to the left-hand side. Lovell just stays his ground, sidesteps, and he hits the ball, losing control. Ball goes wide outside the post.
Lovell staying on his feet, that was the key. Now it's Trent Mitten. India watch on. Mitten calmly goes forward. Srijesh comes a long way out. Mitten goes to Srijesh's right. Lost control for a second. Shoots into the pads and Srijesh clears. So it's still 2-0. Srijesh has given his team a lifeline. Now it is up to the players to deliver.
Well, Mitten comes to the ball. Srijesh takes away a little above the penalty spot. And what Mitten does, he loses control of the ball. And then Srijesh closes him down and he flicks the ball into his pads.
Now it is one of the coolest customers in the game, Harmanpreet. Can he get India back alive in this? They're trailing 2-0 in the shootout. India's third shot coming from Harmanpreet. Goes towards Lovell, lifts it over Lovell, deflects it, it's gone in! Harmanpreet has given India a lifeline. Who did you expect would do? He is so cool.
Well, Harmanpreet actually comes to the keeper. He lifts it over Lovell and just tips that ball inside. Lovell does all he can do, dive towards the ball. The ball trickles into the goal.
So Australia leading 2-1. Simon Orchard now has stepped forward. Dare I mention, he's missed in the shootout in the HIL final on 2 occasions. Orchard towards Srijesh. Goes to the right, fires. He makes no mistake this time. Simon Orchard makes it 3-1 in favour of Australia. India must score.
He comes inside and he actually spins from very far. He doesn't come close to Srijesh. There's a lot of gap between Srijesh and Orchard. Orchard pulls the ball to the left-hand side and smashes it into the goal.
This is the big one for India. Surrender Kumar has to score, or Australia will be crowned the Hero Champions Trophy champions. Surrender against Lovell. The whistle goes. Surrender advances. Lovell comes out on the angle. Surrender goes onto the open side. Doubles back. Lovell's gone to ground. He's missed though, and Lovell is the hero. Australia have won the Champions Trophy. India cannot believe it. Roland Altmans is marching off the pitch. He's absolutely fuming still. But Australia are celebrating. India, though, should be applauded. They put up a brilliant effort and took part in an outstanding final, Cedric.
Well, India should take a lot of heart from this game. They stuck it in the face of the Australian world champions, world #1, and stood their ground, fought eye for eye, tooth for tooth.
Final score, Australia 0, India 0 in the normal time, and it's Australia 3, India 1 in the shootout. Graham Reid and the players shaking hands. What a final. Going through, Turner just jogging back. Well, Tyler Lovell is the hero. He was favoured over Andrew Charter. He was the hero when Ranchi won the Hockey India League. And he's been the hero again to deny India. Srijesh, well, can't blame the goalkeeper in that situation, and that's what the players are saying to him. He'll be devastated. Here's the winning attempt. Surrender did everything to beat Tyler Lovell, but just pushed his shot off target, Cedric.
Well, he did. He spun Lovell, made Lovell fall to the right-hand side, spun out to the right, to his own right-hand side, and had an open goal, but pushed the ball out. So Lovell just stood his ground. Actually, Lovell did a great job by just standing his ground.
Well, the Australian, great pictures of them celebrating. We're going pitch side now, where Michael Absam is with Tyler Lovell.
Yeah, he's asking me which questions I've got. I've got lots and lots of questions to ask him. What goes through your mind in a moment like that?
Oh, look, just trying to stay calm, stay in the contest, and hope they do what they did, and if not, save it.
You look super relaxed there, and your team as well put you in a great position, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we scored the first couple, and they shot wide on the first couple. So, look, we just went out and had fun. You know, at the end of the day, it's hockey.
And the actual game itself, can we sort of get your view on it? You played 2 of the quarters there. India threw everything at you this evening.
Yeah, look, they're a very good side, and we've said for a long time that they're getting better and better every tournament. We didn't play as well as we could, but we thought we played pretty well in a lot of patches today. You've got to take hats off to them. They played really well.
It's another gold medal. How does it feel?
Yeah, pretty awesome. Another one in the cabinet, as he said. So, yeah, there's one more big one coming, and that's the one we're all after.
Yeah, that's the one in Rio in just 48 days' time. Quick message to everyone back home watching.
Yeah, g'day, guys. Thanks for all your support back there. We all appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, many congratulations to Australia. Probably not the way they thought they were going to win this competition, but they are the Champions Trophy winners yet again. Commiserations to India. They gave absolutely everything to the effort, but unfortunately the Australians too good in that shootout in the end. We'll have all the reaction a little bit later on, plus, of course, the medal ceremony. Join us after the break.